Well, good morning, and I'm out here in sunny Wales. Well, actually, it's not quite so sunny because I don't know if you can just see behind me. The rain is absolutely tipping down, and the last time I came onto a carpool, it was raining. So rain is a theme here in South Wales. I'm out in my Nissan. I've forgotten the name of the car actually because it doesn't belong to me, because this Nissan belongs to our team member Tahir Karim. Morning, Ty.
Morning.
Morning. And what car is this? What car are we?
It's a Nissan GTR.
A Nissan GTR, and it's worth a few bob as well. You're a bit of a car collector, aren't you?
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. What sort of cars do you have?
I've got a Porsche, a Ferrari, a BMW M3, and I've got quite a few classic cars. I've got the Capri 28 Special, and a Sierra Cosworth.
Right, you lost me on the first one, mate. Okay, but obviously it sounds quite expensive to me. But Ty, you've just joined the business. You've been involved for 5 months now.
That's correct. Yeah.
And you're a family man.
That's right. Yeah. Family man. Yeah.
So just share with us your family.
I'm a family man. I've got children. My eldest Harris, he's 21. He's actually a partner in the business as well. He's a student at university. I got another daughter then who's 17. She's doing her A-levels at the moment, and I've got another young budding 13-year-old who wants to be a professional footballer.
A professional footballer.
His name's Wes. He is.
Another Wes.
Yeah.
No, we don't. We don't need Tahir, another Wes. And
Wes, yeah.
If it's one of those Liverpool supporters as well.
He is a Liverpool supporter.
Oh, he is. Oh no, we don't need another Liverpool supporter. But you're a really, really busy guy.
Yeah, right.
And who introduced you to the business?
A gentleman called Mark Oakley. He's actually our senior team leader. Well, the story behind that is, to be honest with you, he was nagging me for about 6-7 months to have a look at it, and with my busy life, with my work and everything, I really couldn't. I wouldn't say I never had the time to see him. I just couldn't do it because I was always held up with something else.
Yeah.
And then one day he said something to me in a conversation, which was because I was quite friendly with his late father, and he mentioned the fact that if his dad knew that how much he was trying to get me to down to this opportunity presentation, which I didn't have a clue what it was about because he wouldn't tell me. I wouldn't. So I respected what he said, and it really touched me actually.
Yeah.
And I promised him that I would come, and I did that particular day. Have it penciled in my diary. I thought, whatever happens, I must go there.
Yeah.
And just as life normally goes on, that particular day something cropped up, an emergency. However, I put the emergency aside and said, well, that will just have to do.
Yeah.
I've got to go to this presentation. So I went and met Mark and at the opportunity presentation. Yeah.
Yeah. So Mark, a family friend, and so you knew his father really, really well.
That's right. Yeah. I mean,
yeah.
I'm living in Cardiff now, but Mark was living up in Merthyr Tydfil, or he's still living up there. I used to live up there, and we were actually neighbours. I'm a little bit older than Mark, but in our younger days, when he was about 18, we used to sort of hang around together. His dad was quite an entrepreneur, to be fair, and I used to always look up at him how well he was doing. He was a sort of a role model for me, you know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
But Mark, I understand, was a bit of a tearaway when he was a lad, wasn't he?
Well, he was, yeah. I mean, he was a bit of a tearaway. We'd go out and out on a night out, sort of 30 miles away, and at the end of the night we couldn't find him. We didn't know where he was, and we used to have the fear of coming back home, thinking what we're going to tell his parents, you know, that we haven't got him with us, you know. But that was a long time ago, about 25 years ago.
So you were looking after him.
Yeah, we were looking after him. And in fact, his father used to say to me, "I only trust him to go out with you," you know.
Oh, right. And now we the other way. He's looking after you.
No, it's the other way around. Yeah, he's looking after me. Yeah.
Fantastic. So you've got a couple of jobs on the go. Ty, do you want to share us what you do?
We're involved with several businesses. The most time consuming is probably we've got a car recycling business. So basically we've got 2 scrapyards. They're open every day of the week, 7 days a week, and I've been sort of tirelessly living in them for the last 7-8 years. Got a taxi firm where we got our own vehicles, and everybody drives for us on our payroll. So And then we've got another business, which is our property portfolio, which is a long-term investment that we've done with residential and commercial properties. Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean that's pretty full on, mate.
It is, to be honest with you. Yeah, you know, I mean, they all take a lot of time. There's a lot of stress involved with a lot of this stuff. You know, in fact, there's stress with every single one of them. You know, especially the first one. I mean, we're in a car scrapyard business. Great, a great business. You make lots of money out of it. However, it's very challenging working with the environment that it's involved with. You know, for example, there's a lot of regulations, a lot of legislation. There are good members of staff there, but there can also be quite challenging to work with. You know,
right, moaners, you mean?
Moaners, yeah.
Moaners.
Right,
okay,
moaners,
so can I just ask you, Ty, why take something else on? Why take on a business like this? Because you know, it's a simple business, but as we say, it's not easy. It involves work.
Yeah.
Why are you doing
well,
this?
Actually, after the opportunity presentation, I basically at the first opportunity presentation that I went to with Mark, Robin Brooks spoke, and somebody told me that he was a farmer.
Yeah.
And he actually inspired me, and I thought, well, this guy doesn't look what he's doing. I could see all these people getting all these awards, and all from different walks and lives and different professions, and they were all said to be. And I grasped immediately when I was in that room with about 100 or so people that all these people were motivated and had a vision or something, because that's why they turned up to this place. And I thought, well, you know, and that inspired me, and I thought, well, this is exactly what the sort of people I want to be hanging around with. That was it. That was probably the main reason what I thought, I'll have a crack at this. I'll take something else on, and I can always sort of let things go. You know, let things go in the background. You know, and leave them carry on. Yeah.
So you've left the business sort of running themselves for a little bit.
Yeah. We've made some changes. We've actually reduced staff. We've reduced some of the businesses inside since I've joined in. You know, in the last 5 months, and that was. And the honest answer is, for example, the car scrapyard business. I had 15 people working in that business, and I was going in to work 6 days a week, 6 long days in a week, and the reason why I was going is to make sure that we took enough money to be able to pay their wages. However, since we are now down to, believe it or not, only 3 to 4 people in there. So we've made 11 people redundant, and that's because I've sort of steered the business in a different direction, because we weren't selling parts on eBay, and we've started selling parts on eBay. So we're trying to build that side of the business up instead now.
So to say, Ty, you've been busy with this business is a little bit of an understatement, because I've just looked at some stats here. You've been involved 5 months.
Yes.
And you've brought in, or you've been involved in bringing in, over 100 customers. And most of them, and I've checked the stats here, most of them are Daffy Golds.
That's right, yeah.
So what? How many customers did you bring in last month?
I brought in 31 customers. Yeah.
31 customers, right. And most of those Daffodil Golds.
I think they were all Daffy Golds. Yeah.
All Daffy Golds. So how do you follow up with that? I mean, we've got the 27th, is it, of the month?
Right, yeah. For this month, I'm on 36 customers so far, and the reason why, to be honest with you, I probably do a lot of Daffy Gold customers. I've got the product myself. Yeah. I know it works. I'm saving genuinely just over £300 a month on my bills in my house. So because I'm saving that sort of money, it's you know, and I believe in it, and I tell people that. When I'm actually showing them the product, that, you know, the best benefits you're going to get is if you actually take all the 5 services.
All the five services.
And you know, you are going to get some people who don't need them, you know, but most of the people just take them. Yeah.
So I know you've got a bit of a target. I mean, you want to bring in 40 Daffy Golds this month. Yeah. But you know, that's a lot of customer signing. I mean, are your family seeing much of you, Ty, at the moment?
Yeah, they do get to see me, to be honest with you. I mean, it's not any less than they used to before. I mean, you know, but it's just, instead of me being sort of in my other job roles, I'm out here,
right?
You know, or you know, something I've really not done for a long time, but I enjoy sitting in my car. Yeah. Making some appointments, because of, for example, you are going to get a cancellation or a rearrangement, so I've got 2 hours to spare. Yeah, I get my diary out and I just book another 7, 8, 10 appointments in, you know.
So you within the businesses that you've got, you're used to earning money,
That's
you're used to
right.
earning good money, but how do you see the difference between earning money with this company and through the process that you're using now and earning money through your existing
Yeah.
businesses?
What I find here is, I mean, the biggest thing about this is, I mean, it's the fact that I've only paid £50 to join this business.
Yeah.
I'm using, in the politest sense, somebody else's capital.
Yeah.
And I'm getting paid quite well. You know what I mean? If you get for example, even if it's a tenant, Daffy Gold, or you get £100 or £90, and vice versa. You get up to £350 on a homeowner. Now, for the amount of time I'm putting into it, it's a better return than the actual businesses that because you've got overheads of the businesses, etc. Yeah.
Because I mean, obviously, things like property in that. I mean, you pick up a flat, sort of investments of 50 grand up, and you've got no return yet.
Well, that's right. Yeah, I mean, a lot of properties. I mean, even though we've got a large property portfolio, there are loans and on them. So the properties are being serviced by the rents that are coming on. However, there are a lot of expenses, a lot of legislation. Again, you've got to follow a lot of overheads.
Yeah.
And one of the biggest problems in any sort of property business is or the letting side is unfortunately we do get bad tenants who, one, damage the property, and two, don't pay rents, and that can be very expensive. I mean, I've just had a property that I've had to which I couldn't. The tenant wasn't paying us any rent. They got themselves into about almost £11,000 worth of rent arrears, and it cost me equally about £6,500 to evict them. And then it's cost me another sort of £5,000 or £6,000 to get the property back up to a standard, and so I lost almost £20,000 in just one property. So just as much as a lot of people think that they're making lots of money in property.
Yeah. There's a lot of headaches that come with it.
There's a lot of headaches and a lot of stress.
What's the biggest headache you've had with this business?
Not really. I turn around. I enjoy it every day. To be honest with you, I haven't really had a massive headache at all. Nothing really. To be honest with you, every day I'm just inspired by it, because the fact that I enjoy it. And if you enjoy it, you don't get an headache. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Because you're on this, aren't you? You're on this, and it's been amazing watching you grow this. But 40, 30, 20 customers coming through. How are you getting these customers now? The people out there are thinking, I've not done that in a year. I've not done that in 2 years. Yeah. How are you getting 40 customers? What's your secret?
Yeah. Basically, I've not been in the business that long. So when I went to Express Day, so I've been 5 months into it. I went to Express Day, and I just was, again, totally inspired by all these great big speakers. I've just got to let people know that I've always done, my business has been with me and my family. I've never ever been to any of these type of events in all my life. So all the businesses I've done, I've done my own training. I've never worked for anybody. I've only ever done anything for myself. Right from the beginning. So I came out of university and I went and I became sort of self-employed. But when I went there, I just learned. I was listening to all these big speakers, and I thought, well, that's right. Oh yeah, I do a little bit of that, but and then. I think they mentioned something, referrals in Express Day, and also the rest of the team was mentioning that, and I thought, well, this is it. I said, I'm going to turn around and I'm going to try and concentrate on these, and that was sort of why my first couple of months were okay. I mean, I did 13 my first month. My second month, I spent a lot of time in my business trying to rearrange them all, so I did less in my second month, and then it sort of kicked off in my third month. But what I actually did is when I do go into people's properties, I go in with the vision in my head that I'm going to get sort of at least 5 good names and numbers. I mean, and often that's the case. And I just mention referrals the minute I get into the property, and I just concentrate on getting referrals and working through referrals. Yeah.
So the moment you're entering in, I suppose they already know why you're coming, because they've come off a referral. Haven't
what happens is, when I'm ringing a potential customer, I actually tell them that, first of all, likelihood is they know that it's to do with utility warehouse because whoever they referred them has told them. However, if they haven't, I do sort of mention in my telephone conversation that I've been over to see their friend, for example, John, and John has highly recommended them, and I'm involved with the business. It's sort of a bit of a boring subject, but I specialise in reducing people's gas, electric, landline, broadband and mobile. And something very important I've just said, I slow down with the 5 products when I'm speaking to them, so they actually, I'm not going a million miles an hour, because those Welsh do speak a little bit fast, you know? So what happens is, so they know what it's about, and I just say to them that I've been over to see the friend, for example, John, and regardless of whether they've joined or not, if they've joined, I tell them that, I showed them the product, they took it up and saved some stash amount of money. And while I was there, I sort of asked them for good names and numbers of people that sort of would benefit from this. And for example, if the person I'm talking to is called Julie, I said, Julie, John said, John spoke very highly of you. And one of the first names that came out of their mouth was yours, and said, "Oh, Julie be up for a bit of a saving." And then I normally just say to them, for example, I never ask them a yes or no question. I say to them, for example, what area do you live in, Julie? And it just stems off from there. And if they tell me an area, I'll say, when's the best time for me to pop in and see you? And it works. And you get appointments.
And you have actually, I mean, we discussed this before, you've actually come from one appointment not knowing another person, within maybe within the hour, you're actually signing up another person.
Yeah, that's right, I've done that, we do that, we do lots of them, where I've had scenarios where, well, in fact, it happened to me on Saturday. I turned up at an appointment, and we all get it, you turn up and they've gone shopping, they haven't come back. I had a 2 hours spare, and I just parked up further down the road, got my diary out. I made 3 phone calls. The first phone call I made an appointment. The second one, made an appointment. The third one, they turned around and said, "Oh, we're about to take the dog out for a walk." They were about sort of a 35-minute drive from where I was. But if you come over now, the dog can wait. We'll just show it you. You can nip across. And I went over, hormone, and signed him up straight away.
Fantastic, fantastic. Now, you've been chasing one of the incentives because you one of the holiday. Which holiday are you going for, Ty?
Orlando,
You're going for Orlando. You're taking the family to Orlando.
That's right,
Which I know the children and Harris is looking forward to.
That's right, yeah.
How long did it take you to qualify for the holiday?
I never forget what Wes said, and this was really good. Wes Linden said, all your holiday points for March are going to count as something, So whatever you did in March, So I'd done I think I did about 20 odd customers. So it was the 18th of March that I went on this express day. So I knew that my March points were going to, from the previous year, were going to count. So I just went for it, and I qualified on the 18th of May.
18th of May. 18th of May. A couple of months into the promotion. You've got over like 200 odd.
I think I'm on 237 points with about 70 points pending.
70 points pending, right? So maybe there may be 2 holidays worth.
I don't know. I'm not too sure how it works at the moment. I mean, do you get 2 holidays? I'm not too sure.
Well, I think the grounds that you're breaking at the moment, Ty. I mean, we could ask a few questions, could we? But absolutely,
make a phone call to Wayne Coupland.
Wayne Coupland. But I find this totally inspiring. I mean, your work ethic, Ty, is incredible. I know that, and I know that a lot of people will see you working away and think he's doing something that is magic, that is secret. But, when we're chatting now, you're not doing anything that we haven't actually covered in trainings and...
Nothing. I'm doing exactly what everybody else does, to be honest with you. There's nothing special about what I do. I just got a belief, and I just go out and just get appointments and just go for it. And, you're going to get a no, just move on. Like Big Al said, leave them alone, move on.
Leave them alone, move on.
It was something like that. And next, and
absolutely,
you go along. You know what I mean? And I'll be honest with you, I try to. My referrals list does get me a lot of appointments, but however, I just want to touch on the fact that we've got a taxi firm, and what I've always loved driving taxis, even though it's probably one of my poorest businesses that pays out in terms of the amount of hours that you put in for the amount of return. But I've kind of sort of benefited from when I do drive a taxi at the weekends or in the nights, because I see lots of people.
Yeah.
And they say, "Oh, how are you getting on?" I said, "Yeah, not bad." I said, "I've only just started." Oh, but I said I was working in my other job in the day. Oh, where was you today? And that's just sort of
that's your line in.
That's my line in, and I normally get an appointment, you know, and on average I probably get about 4 or 5 appointments just through my taxi business.
So you've got a captive audience, like a Venus flytrap. Once they get in that door there, they're going to know about this business.
That's right, yeah.
That's amazing. Ty, it's been absolutely fantastic chatting with you, mate.
Great.
And I know that you are pushing hard for senior team leader by
Mad Day, yeah.
Mad Day,
yeah.
Okay. I mean, the numbers you do that on your own, surely, but we do need some help with that.
We need some help from our team, yeah. You know, we have got. I've recruited, I think it's 21 partners. Obviously, because I'm quite new to the business, you know, one thing you do realise is not everybody works to the same speed as you. You know what I mean? And
you know, I think you probably found that out.
And I wish they all did, to be honest with you, because I tell you what, they'd be very financially successful. You know what I mean? But however, everybody works at their own their own speed. They've got their own sort of vision. But what it is I do need my team to get working.
Yeah.
You know, and it's a shame, really, to be honest with you.
Or find some people who want to do what you're doing.
Out of the 20 odd partners that I've recruited, there's probably only a handful that are really doing anything. You know,
that sounds about right.
Yeah, you know.
Ty, I must ask you this before we finish, because I'm just aware of the time. Why did you join this business?
Well, the reason was it's basically because I'm fed up of using my own money.
Yeah.
You know, like a lot of business people, we have a lot of money coming in.
Yeah.
It all goes back out because we are reinvesting in other things.
Yeah.
And I got to that stage in life where I thought, well, we need to probably start recouping all my money and putting it back in my bank account, and I wanted another income, you know.
Yeah.
Something else, and because I'm not using my own money here, I'm hoping that the long term, the passive income is going to be a big thing, which as a businessman, a lot of people don't really invest in their pensions, etc. And I've realised that, you know, coming to the age, I'm too late to really heavily put money into a pension. So this is sort of
it's like your pension fund. So Ty, what are the main differences then with, you know, between working in your conventional businesses and working with utility warehouse?
One of the main things that I've actually noticed and realised and actually just sort of inspires me is the fact that people who are sort of working with utility warehouse, or who are active in it, or even partly active in it, they're generally motivated. They really want to get up and do something about it. They're not very negative. They're just more positive people. Whereas my typical sort of conventional businesses, you know, what I've had people working with for almost. I've got some people working with me for 20 years, and you know, nothing negative against them, but you know, the vision's not there. It just seems to be a mundane thing that they just come into work. They're coming to work. They're going to go home. They're going to get paid at the end of the week. There's no vision. There's never any sort of respect or gratitude really coming back to you, bar a handful of people within the company that we operate with, you know. So generally, what I found is there's a lot more positive people working there, which really does sort of enlighten me every single time. I mean, you know, I'll never forget what Mark said to me was, "You are the closest five people that you sort of associate with." And if you hang around with positive people, they will genuinely uplift you, especially of things and help you. You know, unfortunately, if you're hanging around with people that are sort of going to be negative, you're going to be dragged down with them, you know.
Well, do you know, it's been absolutely fabulous hanging around with you this morning,
great.
Ty.
Thank you.
And as I said, we are sat in this Nissan
GTI,
Nissan GTI, and you've got to hear the sound. We didn't put the engine on simply because it purrs like a cat, and we didn't want to distract anyone. So let's hear what it sounds like, Ty. This guy's in his element here now. Listen to that. And what's the time? It's early enough, is it?
That's right,
Yeah, late enough. Okay, Ty, it's been absolutely brilliant.
Thank you.
And we're going to hear you speaking where?
It's the Summer Sizzler on the 27th of July.
The Summer Sizzler in Cardiff on the 27th of July. If you want to meet this guy and try and brush against him, and some of the gold dust might fall onto you as well. Take care. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.